Hello everyone and welcome to our webinar, What's New in Microsoft Release Wave 2 2023. We are very excited to show you all the news and functionalities in this release wave, and I believe it will be of no surprise at all if we mention Copilot a couple of times during today. My name is Gitte Højgaard Mouritsen and I will be your host. Let's have a quick look at today's agenda. We will kick off with Microsoft Dynamics 365 Customer Engagement by Jan Finn Andersen, then followed by Anna Lewandowska presenting Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance. Then Erich Schaller will present Supply Chain and Project Operations. And finally, Felipe Sousa will present Power Platform. At the end of the webinar, we will have time for questions in the Q&A session. This is our team today. As mentioned already, my name is Gitte Højgaard Mouritsen, and I'm the marketing lead. Then we have our experts, beginning with Jan Finn Andersen, who is functional solution architect. We have Anna Lewandowska, who is senior finance consultant. We have Erich Schaller, who is supply chain management consultant. And we have Felipe Sousa, who is CE technical solution architect. A few things before we get started. We'll send you an email after the webinar, and it will include the recording of today's webinar. It will include a PDF version of today's presentation. And in this regard, it's important to mention that during this call, we will only present the most important functionalities. However, when you receive the email, you will see that it includes even more information. The webinar would simply be too long if we were to present everything in the release wave. The email will also include a link for a survey, and we would greatly appreciate if you could just take 2 minutes to complete so that we can get your feedback for next time. And feel free to ask questions in the chat during the presentations. We will get back to you in the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. And before I hand over the screen to Jan, I just wanted to give you a short overview of what Microsoft's release wave is. There are two main updates from Microsoft a year, and they are called waves, one in April and one in October. Microsoft recommends that all companies using Microsoft Dynamics or Power Platform know of the news in the waves and their possible impact to your business. In between the two yearly waves in April and October, there are also some more dates to look out for, and this year it's been July 18th. By that time, the release plan and documentation was ready. July 31st. On this day, you could apply the wave to the environments to evaluate the functionalities, and you could even anticipate the update of the production environment as well. And then October 1st, which is this Sunday, I believe, on this date, there will be automatic updates in all environments, including production. So with these words, I would like to hand over the screen to Jan, who will present Microsoft Dynamics 365 Customer Engagement. Please take over the screen, Jan.
Thank you, Gitte. Yes, hello, my name is Jan. As Gitte says, I work in AlfaPeople Copenhagen as a solution architect. I will brief you about some of the new strong things in D365 customer engagement today. My background is that I work with all Microsoft products since they came on the market. And a lot of the time I've worked with sales, web portals, and customer service, and always with integration to ERP systems. And I also have a background in ERP. And I'm integrated in two of the largest selling concepts, solution selling and Miller Heiman strategic selling. And when I look at these concepts, I see a lot of nice features in Microsoft products, both as we see them now, but also what we are going to discuss today. Really cool tools to help you follow up on your leads, see if leads are moving, existing customers, opportunities, and how you can handle these with the processes you want to put up in your company, depending on how your business processes are. So I'm really happy about seeing all these things, which I'm going to show them. But when something new is coming, something also needs to go. I have three areas here: marketing, sales, and field service. And in the marketing, Microsoft offers for the new customers only real-time marketing, and the outbound is going away. It's just a natural, you can say, cleanup or enhancement of the marketing solution. So don't worry, it's a really strong, the real-time marketing solution. And at the same time they do that, as Gitte says, as we speak, they also join Dynamics 365 marketing and customer insights as one product. So that's what you are going to buy as a new customer. On the sales area, all exchange-based cards, that is, if you use these cards to follow up on activities, they are going away, and instead you will use the Power Automate, as you maybe know or will know, because the Power Automate is the flow mechanism where you can move things from application to application, and you can follow up on deadlines and other things automatically and make some nice alerts for both customer and internal people using Power Automate. On the field service side, the scheduling board is replaced to a new and better one, and the scheduling board in field service is where you can see all your service orders and your coming service orders, how they are booked, so you can see them in the calendar, and that's getting even stronger in the future. So look forward to that. Looking at the apps, we take marketing first. On the marketing side, the moment-based push notification is a really strong tool. If you have some deadlines or some follow-ups, you want to get alerts to your organization and people who are working with these things, then you can put up these moment-based activities so you remember to follow up on important tasks. When you want to engage with new customer or existing customers, it's important to make them feel that they can pick and choose for the information you offer. So with these new features, when you design your web forms and forms to collect data from your potential customers, you can easily put them up. So when you are done, the preferences which each customer and lead have can be chosen by the customer themselves. And that's mean when you do that, you can easily do some personalized journeys. Instead of having one journey fits all, you can use these data and say, okay, we have a build maybe the journey first, and then you can say the customers and leads who have chosen to get this information will go this way in the journey, and others will go another way and get different information or be invited to different scenarios, virtual events like this one, or physical events or whatever you are using in your campaigns. So really strong way to ask the customers what they want, reuse information in your personalized journeys. Really strong tools. And we discussed earlier the coming of artificial intelligence and Copilot coming more and more in all Microsoft products. And you can use these tools as well when you build up your journey. So you don't have to be an expert in building journeys. You can just use natural language to build up these journeys. And we will see that not only now, but also in the future coming much more as a really cool assistance for your daily work. And also joining sales and marketing close together. We also use these tools where you can build some more and strong information coming from marketing to sales. So you are sure that if some of your really important customers get some score, you will inform the salespeople right away. So really strong tool to build up these, you can say these more flexible ways to inform sales what is happening with your lead and your lead scoring. And also on the dashboard side, it's really nice that Microsoft have built something you can adjust more easily. So again, you can follow up on the whole pipeline, combining your leads and your activities on existing customers, so you can get a 365 view of all the activities. Are they moving the way you want to? Are there some areas where you need to put some more effort in to keep on things moving the right way, or stop activities and change them if it's not giving anything the way you want it. And on the sales side, there are also some exciting things. When you put a lot of effort in trying to get new leads working on your customer, it's important to see if you reach your forecast, because often you put up some forecast per sales area, per country, if you're divided into more countries. And now not only the owner of the CRM solution, the administrator, can put up these views and budgets, but also the single sales guy or sales lady who work with forecast. Then you can adjust them so you can follow them week by week, product by product, or however you are going to the market with which kind of product your business has. Really nice to be able to follow up. So when your boss asks, you're always ready to give him a good answer how the situation is looking like with your forecast. And also, if you want to look at your, you can say, your sales pipeline or your lead pipeline, if something is not moving, you need to do something, because if you have decided that things should move after a week or two and nothing happens within some areas, you have some good tools here now to follow up on what is going on in your sequences and your journeys. Also nice to know, so you don't wait a lot of time and nothing happens in some of your journeys. Then you can adjust them, and hopefully there will be more activities in the different sequence or customer journeys. Really nice to be able to follow up on that as well. And when you have these data, you can automatically pack them and send them here, for instance, as we see, to Olga. So when I'm a manager and say, okay, I want to have a discussion with Olga, how the performance are with the lead and the activities, I can get these overview in an easy way. And then I can adjust them, and then I can send them to Olga. If I have some comments, else just send them automatically. And then on our status meetings, I will discuss with Olga how we can improve things which is not moving. Really nice and strong tool as well. And again, the Copilot can help you when you are getting into action with your customers, mail dialogue, new opportunities, changing a quote to a new quote. You can get information for free, because the Copilot and the AI is going into your correspondence with your leads, with your customers, and find information and then group it in a nice way. So you can see, okay, we also talked about this and this, the price was too high, we need some more documentation of this and this product, and whatever it could be. Really strong tool who can help you not forget things which is in your correspondence with your leads and customers. Really nice. And as a standalone sales pilot area, there's also new functions coming up here for how to handle all these data, where you can specify even more than before. How do you want to let the Copilot help you drag these information out of your CRM solution? And also during, for instance, Teams meeting, there's even better possibilities to let Copilot help you getting the last record and the information from CRM, so you're totally up to date in a meeting or a dialogue. If the customers call you and want to discuss something, you can easily get the information without searching manually. You can get them automatically via the Copilot setup. On the customer service area, there's also even better possibilities than before to track and log, if you can say so, all your calls, your chats on the given customer or your partner. You can even track these things via these tools. And also again with Teams, if you want to use Teams in a chat, you can start up the Teams integration, and then you can have the Teams possibilities added to your customer or agent or your partner dialogue. Really nice to have as well, because a lot have used Teams as a daily tool during COVID, and love the way it works, and more features are coming to Teams which you can benefit from. So it's nice to be able to use it very easily in your dialogue as well. And again, on the services, of course, Copilot and the AI is supporting you as well. Also now to see, do you really use the help you can get? There will be some statistic providing you with information how many users used the suggestions from the co-pilots, how many percentages are doing this and this. So you can get a lot of information for free, and maybe you see, okay, I should use this more. So you can keep down the time when you answer customers' request about some special services. Then you can benefit from seeing, okay, you have a lot of knowledge you don't use, and in the next time you have a customer dialogue or going to solve a problem, you can easily use and reuse information which the co-pilot can find for you. Field service app. On this area, they have focused on, if you can say, fixed assets, the goods, the items you sell to your customers. They can be spread over different countries, of course, if you are in more countries, or different locations, of course, and also in different buildings if there's a big customer. So it can be difficult for the service technical staff to find where to do the service. But now it's even better than before, where you can break down the location of your items and your fixed assets. And this way, as a service technical staff, you can easily do the service, so you don't not run around in wrong places. And if you've got some special documentation attached, policy documents, dangerous goods, or whatever it can be, they can be attached to the items and the inventory you have installed at the customer side. So you easily can say, okay, I have to be careful with this when I approach to make the service or change some components and put some new items in the customer side. So really nice as well, because you can track all the service orders, but also now it's easy to check, you can say, the documentation of all these stuff you have at your customer side. Customer data is important, of course, because we use a lot of effort to put data in. And here again, co-pilot and artificial intelligence is your friend now and will also be in the future. Because when you get more and more data, it can be difficult to find all the data when you need it. But here again, we can benefit from the co-pilot and the AI. We just need to use it more in the daily run. Then we will see the benefits of all the strong functions, because it is really fast for these tools to find information and organize and give you an overview of these data. And I think we will see that more and more, and people will really be happy to use it when they first use it in different areas. It can be sales, HR, and finance operations as well, where we also are going to see it later today. So really strong features, and we are happy to go into deep with that for the customers who want to hear more about it and to try it in real life. And that was all for me.
Thank you very much, Jan.
Hello, everyone, again in our AlfaPeople event. My name is Anna Lewandowska-Felix, and I have the pleasure to present new arrivals for the Wave 2 for Finance, that are focused on adding an extended planning and analysis, as well as bringing additional enhancement to core finance capabilities. We will zoom in today to core financial features, as well to Globalization Studio to check the releases for localization package. And lastly, I will present the replacements and of old features. So let's start with the core financials. This release contains an integration to D365 Finance and allows user to model, contribute, and approve financial plans and forecasts using Power BI and Excel. For business performance planning capabilities, which include a direct connection and integration to D365, and copy plans to run what-if scenario to accelerate the business decision-making. We have a new APE workspace, check validation, and functionality for periodic invoice handling. We have new options for the cash and bank module, and a totally new feature for netting customer and vendor balance. This feature will improve netting capabilities that include netting customer and vendor agreements, netting overview form, a manual netting form where user can manually select the customer invoices and the vendor invoices for the netting purpose, as well as automatic netting periodic task. There are also additional features related with foreign currency revaluation for the bank module and the calculation of the gain and losses for the reporting currency, which are for sure worth of a closer look. From the Globalization Studio, we have several updates related with electronic reporting, electronic invoicing reporting for the specific countries like France, New Zealand, Australia, and Poland. Additionally, Microsoft provide a plugin for the global e-invoicing ISV last mile, which is really great. We have 2 updates for standard audit file for taxes released for Denmark and Norway, and improvements for the tax calculation services with simplified integration for tax solution, to which we will have a closer look in a second. In my opinion, the most valuable feature for the core finance will be support for the recurring invoicing launch in October. Well, I wanted to draw to your attention the significant update, as it eliminates a large functional gap about recurring invoices in accounts payable. Customer will be able to handle periodic recurring invoices like monthly electricity prepayments invoices or monthly insurance. This feature allows user to set up recurring automatic accounts payable invoices. The setup will include option for specifying the frequency and the amount of the recurring invoices. Once set up, accounts payable invoices will be automatically generated and posted accordingly to specific schedule without any required manual intervention. As I mentioned before, the new feature for the netting customer and vendor balance can significantly reduce the workload needed for compensation AP and AR transaction. It can help a company to avoid making unnecessary payments or receipt and save a transaction fee by consolidating the company's customer and vendor balance. From the Globalization Studio release, I wanted to bring to your attention in details feature to support integration with tax ISVs. Implementers in countries like United States and the enterprise customers dealing with multiple tax jurisdictions and definitely needed an ISV tax solution that automate tax determination and calculation. This feature simplifies the integration, lower the barrier for ISVs, and offer more option for Dynamics D365 finance customers. As a last part of finance update, we'll have a brief look to the deprecations and the replacement. We have the replacements for SAFT file for Emirates. The revenue recognition will be replaced by subscription billing, and Microsoft will discontinue support for synchronizing contacts, appointments, and tasks between supply chain management and the Outlook. All the list of the features will be available as an attachment for this presentation. And for today, thank you very much, and passing back the voice to Aries.
Thank you, Anna. Aries, you can take over the screen now.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to present the supply chain part on this beautiful event summit today. For my person, my name is Aries Scholler, specialized in D365 supply chain management, working with this cloud version since the release 2017. At this point, also worked on different kind of areas, as it is in every project, from pharmaceutics to automotive, production and fashion. And I'm going to start directly with the supply chain part, especially in the beginning with new releases in the inventory and logistics, where we have a really, really nice and powerful add-in in the inventory visibility, which is a dashboard and lets business users view inventory quantity, status across data sources, legal entities, locations, and channels with a quick holistic overview. What does it enable directly? Set up and filter on inventory dimensions to focus on the regions and products you care most about. Also identify stock out, under stock, also an overstock of different kind of products. It also enables the possibility to see like an inventory summary, and therefore the view of inventory KPIs such as end-on quantity, supply, and demand. But what is really the goal in this powerful feature or add-in, say, as it is that it gives a possibility to increase customer service levels, also optimize inventory carrying costs, and also prevent stock outs, which are at seasonal timings really, really important. Something on the discrete manufacturing. Many international companies are today under pressure to comply with both local general accepted and accounting practices and statutory accounting principles. So this enhancement for the global inventory accounting add-in enables discrete manufacturing to build 3 categories of manufacturing expenses from materials to overheads. Also the possibility to track and record discrete manufacturing costs by applying standard cost methods, and also to create reports in Power BI and analyzing the cost results and making management decision using this kind of reports in Power BI. Warehouse management. Herefore, we have different kind of new features. One which is going to be really interesting in the intralogistic part is the possibility to now capture with one scan multiple GS1 label segments. So this enables workers to operate more efficiently when handling items in the warehouse. Also on the other side, in the mobile device part, we have improvements where the worker effectiveness and effectiveness is really dealt with this new feature, where more key fields are delivered and highlighted on the screen, and also the possibility for item images direct identifying possible items with more and more details to come. Also, new capabilities and optimization in the implementation of warehouse management, where now it's possible to use simplified configurations and maintenance tools to directly configure and implement warehouse management in D365. Manufacturing and asset management. Here we start with a really important topic for those who really represent this market, because overpicking is a topic where the worker deals on daily basis. So manufacturers can now secure efficient and flexible warehouse operations by empowering their workers to pick the full content of nearly empty locations when the selecting materials for production orders are configured. So it's going to be possible to permit overpicking raw materials and set limits to using a mobile app. Also, the possibility to notify if the overpicking is exceeded. Something really attractive also on the mobile device part with a new mobile device, where organizations now can use the asset management add-in for Microsoft D365 supply chain management and can provide workers with a mobile app that supports most common platform devices and form factors. So the mobile app will assist the workers doing maintenance and on machines and equipment installed both on their own premises and remote locations. And here they kind of stand out two important features, like the possibility to create maintenance requests. So administrators now can use the role-based security setup in the supply chain management to grant the workers permission to create new maintenance requests. So that means that workers that receive this permission will then be able to use the mobile app to proactive request maintenance of assets. Also, something really important on the creation of work orders. Maintenance workers use work orders as daily to-do lists. That provides the information of necessity to complete their planned maintenance. So in the app now, it's possible that the workers can search for work orders and assign to them. Workers then use the app to record their progress so the system can track labor, materials, and services for the work done. So the workers can now create new work and also process existing orders and perform tasks such as updating checklist items and updating asset counters. Good theme which the whole world is quite of dealing right now, Copilot and AI innovation. And here we have quite of a game changer. So in this part, Copilot is a game changer when it comes to managing purchase orders. So the procurement Copilot summarizes purchase order changes as they arrive in response from vendors. It helps purchasing agents to make better decisions by summarizing the downstream impact of changes, such as by identifying planned downstream sales, production, and maintenance works, which won't be able to start as planned. So instead of clicking each purchase order for updates, Copilot now aggregates, summarizes the purchase orders, which provide user direct with a clear view from the review of these orders. So Copilot goes beyond and on how changes in purchase orders could affect downstream orders like production, sales, or service orders. Project operations. Here we also have on our new expense mobile app further improvements with the following capabilities. So expense itemization is now possible. When required by your expense policy, you can now split the total expense amount into required breakdowns, such as hotel, day rates, fees, and meals. Also possibility to review and approve expense reports that are submitted by you, and also get notifications about the expense reports. This feature also includes the configuration part of the cost in the system, and also the revenue deferrals for different project transactions. Also the possibility of recording deferred costs and revenue for the project subledger, and also adjusting project transaction with cost and revenue deferrals. Possibility in the project module to project invoicing, usability, and performance improvements. That means that it will be possible to review billing backlog for the next invoice cycle, also make edits to billable hours and chargeable aspects of the transaction, and also easily evaluate the impact of any of these changes at the amount to be invoiced. Also, it will be possible with this feature to leverage multiple paradigms and parallelized accrued options in the invoicing context to improve the scale and throughput out of invoicing options. Supply Chain Center. Good. Now customers will have access to an exciting new dashboard. where it will be possible for the customer to have an insight on real-time inventory statuses. This empowers them to make strategic decisions, optimizing their inventory management. And also inventory managers now gain valuable information regarding reordering items and implementing discounts. Also, customers can now place different kind of order types based on their specific needs. For example, back orders or pre-orders for items which are temporarily unavailable. Also, it's going to be possible to create manual orders, create and update an order, and enable the order to be orchestrated in intelligent order management. Also, a really interesting new tool from last year, and also possible to create return orders and enable return throughout the bidirectional integration between intelligent management and finance and operations. So customers can now take charge of their customer experience like never before. Thank you very much for your time, and hope you had exciting time hearing about the new futures in supply chain management.
Thank you. So let's talk about the Power Platform, how you can enhance agility with this new business applications that we have and the news that we have in the entire Power Platform. So what we are going to talk today, it's about the 2023 release wave 2. So that means that everything being released between October of 2023 through March of 2024, it's part of this release. And when we are talking about Power Platform, what we have is that we are talking about these business applications that you are seeing now on the screen. So we're talking about Power BI, Power Apps, Power Pages, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, AI Builder, and also Dataverse. We are going to talk a little about each one of these business applications, what is the investment areas for each one of it, and also which are the highlights of this new Wave 2. So let's talk first about Power BI. So Power BI will continue to empower every team, user, and also every organization to drive more and more a data culture inside the companies. So, of course, that in the past, if you want to create a dashboard, you need to be a business analyst. If you want to create a BI, you need to maybe hire a database administrator that can create a BI with TSQL or hard queries. And now you don't need this anymore with Power BI. This is of course, very spreaded business application. And now with this new release plan of 2023, what we're going to see is that this is just this data culture has become more and more accessible to more and more makers. And when we are saying makers, are this citizens developers that are not like database administrators. Let's understand better what are the highlights for Power BI. So for Power BI Pro, what we have is that now we have this Service Connect. This Service Connect in the past was just available in the Power BI desktop, but now you can see this too in the Power BI Online. The idea from Microsoft is that more and more features will be available for Power BI Online. So this distance that exists today between the Power BI Online and Power BI Desktop will be shortened during the next releases. This release will be for us in public preview in March of 2024. Now let's talk about Power Apps. So Power Apps will help everyone to reduce the risk. This is a huge investment area for Microsoft, creating advanced administrations and governance for the administrators. And now, when we are saying about reduce risk is, of course, everyone is concerned about its security, its data security, And this is a very important for Power Apps and also for Microsoft. So that's why we are improving now this governance. Also, when we are talking about Power Apps, we have more features that will help the companies to reduce the development cost. When we are saying reduce the cost, is that when we have, for example, a project where we have just developers, a full team of developers, of course, that they can deliver things very good, but they also have to work lots of hours on it. And with Power Apps, this time of development, this roadmap can be reduced very fast. This roadmap can be burned actually using Power Apps, because this is a low-code way of building business applications. And now with Copilot, we will be able to create more and more apps even faster, because Copilot will help us to create our tables, will add new features to our Power App. So this is very good too. We are going to do a demonstration on Copilot in this presentation, so stay tuned. About the highlights of this new release wave. So, of course, Copilot's name of the moment. And with Copilot, one thing that you'll be able to do is, for example, write PowerFX formulas. So PowerFX is the language that we encounter, for example, in the Microsoft Excel. And now with Copilot, we'll be able to ask Copilot to write some PowerFX formulas for you. And this is very good because sometimes we forget how to write some formulas. But now we will not forget anything anymore, because Copilot will remember everything for us, everything that we need. Copilot will be there to help. And also, Copilot will also help us to create the app itself. We can ask Copilot to do a specific thing, and Copilot will understand, we will say for him in natural language, and then it will parse the information and create information for us. So, for example, these are some prompts that we should or could tell the Copilot. So add a button to my header, change my container to align center, change all my labels to have font size 18. So we can just tell it, and Copilot will read, understand, and will transform this in something that it's good for us to use. And the good thing about it is that this will be in general availability. That means for everyone on October of 2023. Let's do a demonstration about how this could work. So I will write here to create, for example, an app that, let's say, app that have, for example, an inspection list, let's say for an Airbus A380. And then Copilot will create the tables of my app, the tables that I need to this checklist. Here it is. I will click to create the app. Then I just acknowledge that table. And then I will have my app being created in just a moment. There it is, my app with my checklist. I can create, update, and delete some records. I can work until here, and Copilot has done most of the work. And if I want to add a text label, just type it, ask for him, and he will do it. Let's talk now about Power Pages. So Power Pages, it's the way where we can create new websites. And with our websites, we are able to create it in a low-code way. So we don't need anymore to be a professional developer to create our portals. No, we can use Power Pages for it. So this is very good because we can connect, for example, to our Dataverse, to expose our data on our Dataverse to our external users using Power Pages. This is easy to host, easy to administrate. So this is a brand new and good feature, very good business application too from Microsoft. About the investment areas of this release plan. So Copilot is coming to the Power Pages. So again, we will be able to tell to the Power Pages, to the Copilot what to do in the Power Pages, and Power Pages will do using Copilot. About data, of course, that we have native integration with some data already, but we will have this more and more data being connected without the need of custom and costly integrations. About collaboration, of course, that for pro developers that also want to, for example, edit the user experience, edit the HTML, edit the CSS. So for the pro developer, they will be able to edit everything on Visual Studio, to upload it to their Git repository and everything. And for security and governance, so by default, Power Pages will improve the security and governance by making the administration of data and websites simple. And of course, that you probably will already have some templates of governance in your company. And what the Power Platform tries to do is just add some important resources so you can do your governance and administrate as you have already created this kind of process. So about the highlights for Power Pages on this release wave. Again, Copilot, the name of the moment. So Copilot will help us to create our websites. We're just going to think it, describe it, Power Pages will build it. So imagine that you want, for example, a home page with some kind of photos, with some important features being described. We can just describe how we want our website. Copilot will read, understand, and then will create that for us. This will be available in October of 2023 as a public preview. The general availability of this feature is still to be announced. For Power Automate of the 2023 Wave 2 release plan. So what we have here on this business application. So Power Automate is also an important feature, an important business application that help us to, in a low-code way, create our process. We can create it as an RPA, a robotic process, or even a cloud flow. And also, when you're going to talk about this important feature, and we're going to talk about the highlights, we are going to talk about the remote desktop feature. So user interface automation. The idea here of the user interface automation is that in the past, you need a laptop or a notebook dedicated to the robot. But now you don't need it anymore, because you can just say to the robot to do it in background. So you can install this in your local machine, and then the robot can do this automation without freezing the user interface as it did before. In Power Virtual Agents, so Power Virtual Agents is a way to create low-code custom bots. The idea of Power Virtual Agent is that it will be more and more integrated with Azure and more integrated with ChatGPT. So together, this will help us to fastly develop a nice Power Virtual Agent chatbot. And when we are talking about the highlights, what we have here is that now we can point our chatbot to an URL, or even to a PDF document, to a questions and answers Excel or whatever we want. And then we can just load this information without the need of create topics and topics of questions and answers. We just point to this URL, to this document, whatever we want. And then the chatbot can answer based on the document that you have provided. So without the need of creating topics and topics, just relying on this new AI feature. So this is what we are saying here. Point to a URL, and then the user can question, the user of the chatbot can question the Power Virtual Agents, and it will be able to respond. About Microsoft Dataverse, the database of the Power Platform, of course, that he is very powerful, a very powerful database. When we are talking about new features, we have now ways to use PowerFX logics, the same logics that we use in Excel. We'll be able to do it here on Dataverse too. So this is our low-code and hyperscale database, a very powerful tool. So about the highlights of Dataverse, we have the way now to create our low-code plugins. That means, well, in the past, we needed to, if we want an action to be triggered by an event, we needed to create a hard-coded plugin. This is not needed anymore. With PowerFX, we can create low-code plugins and then do crude operations with it. For example, lookup, patch, the functions that we already know that exist in Canvas app, for example. For the AI Builder, so AI Builder also is continuing to invest to help anyone to use the AI, so citizen developer can use the AI with it. So talking about the highlights, one thing that every company is concerned about, it's about personally identifiable information. That means imagine a document that have an information of a person that cannot be saved in your company, for example, in your company's repository of documents. If you face a situation like this, then AI Builder can help you because every document, he can parse it, and after parse it, it can save it in your repository without this personal identifiable information, taking this information off the documents. And also for pro development, Microsoft is also, of course, taking everyone on board. So not just citizens developer, although this are the most that are being having benefits of this new wave. But for pro development, now we can also publish a custom connector to Power Platform within Visual Studio. So if we created an API or something like that, and we want to publish it, now we can using a custom connector inside Visual Studio. So just click to publish this as a new custom connector in the Power Platform. So these are the highlights of our Power Platform for this release wave. Hope you enjoy it. And now let's continue.